Jen Aniston has access to everything. Beauty, success. She's worth over $300 million. Surrounded by famous friends, tarot cards, astrology, manifestation circles, spiritual rituals. And she's calling this man her soulmate. Yet, according to reports, an article that came out yesterday, the people closest to her are saying, slow down, be careful, don't get hurt again. Think about that. If all the spiritual tools are supposed to give you clarity, why are the people around her still worried she's going to get blindsided? Today, we're using Aniston's relationship as a case study to reveal the bigger question. Can you actually know someone before they break their heart, before they betray you, before they blindside you? Hey, this is Dr. Nic and Professor Mike with Trust Your Gut, Save Your Ass.
Let's get into it. So she's got everything you need, all the tools, wealth, and influence that she would know whether this person is truly her soulmate or whether she needs to move on.
Yesterday, this article came out, which is why we're doing this piece. A friend revealed the inside info on the relationship. We're going to talk about the tarot, the astrology, the goddess circle, the talking stick, because those are the tools she uses to know, to make decisions.
Friends are worried because they seem to be at different levels socially, and everyone's worried about that.
The social circles, the influence. And she's 7 years older than him. And, you know, we're the king and queen of age difference. Michael's 26 years older than me. And we've been together 31 years. So we're the shiny example that age is irrelevant. Celebrities make great case studies. But it is not about gossip. It's about foolproof knowing. If someone still doesn't know after using the talking stick and the astrology and the tarot, maybe that's not the answer.
You would think that you'd be able to access the cards, access the talking stick, access the astrologer, and they could point you in the right direction. But we're going to share why that doesn't work, and that will never, ever give you the real answer that you're looking for in terms of knowing.
You know, Jennifer, like we said, what was revealed in this article is that she regularly uses tarot, astrology, and manifesting with the talking stick. And she definitely thinks this is her soulmate. And she's into her goddess circle. As the article reported, the talking stick's interesting. It's a wooden stick with bling and feathers. And they sit in their spiritual goddess circle. And they use the talking stick for manifesting, forcing outcomes. But there's a higher way. There's a higher way to know your internal guidance system. You were born with this. We all were. And it's not about belief systems. It's something inside, internal and eternal.
Yep.
Your internal GPS.
And we don't need to look outside to the experts and the astrology and the tarot. We need to be quiet and look within. And therein lies the difference.
This internal guidance system, you're born with it. We all were. And no one tells us about it. Okay, this is the deal. When we're young, it's, oh, you had a dream. Oh, that's just a dream, honey. You know, that's just a dream. Oh, that's just a coincidence. And your intuition, that's just your imagination. So do you see throughout life, all of us, regardless of the belief system, we've all been told just disregard it. Dream, sign, imagination, which is intuition. So we've been heading in the wrong direction from the get-go, which is why we founded Divine Guidance Institute as a nonprofit to assist you with your divine intelligence connection. 24/7 ongoing, perfect guidance for each person. So after all those tools she uses, there's still uncertainty and there's still doubt. And that's the premise of this case study, exploring the tools and the relationship and the happiness, which could be genuine, but you still don't have foolproof knowing. And that's where the system, your system, takes you into that next level of knowing.
Yeah. Today, when you look at the masses, anyone, and you talk to people all having problems getting blindsided, and it comes from believing because I read a book, because the expert said so, because the doctor told me. Well, all those things do not help you know. If you have hope, belief, faith, you're on the other side of that knowing. You have no idea. You're really tossing the coin and going, God, I hope it comes up heads.
External systems say maybe. Internal guidance says yes or no.
Yep.
There's no guessing, no readers, no cards, and no rituals.
In other words, there's things are not separate from us. Really, we're saying everything is whole, and it's a unified field and it's already within us how to access the signal that's coming in with the answer.
Hey, we got to ask you a question, okay? Imagine you have to decide today on something. Should you marry them? Should you hire them? Should you invest with them?
Right.
Should you move them into your house? Would you bet everything? Or are you still, uncertain?
And that's really critical because if you look at the stats, the divorce rate's close to 50%. Actually, it's higher than that because people leave, don't get divorced because they don't have the money and go their own way. It's probably 60 or 70%. So they're guessing, and they're wrong at least 50% of it.
I'm so glad you mentioned stats because we didn't even really share any stats.
Yep.
We have a slew of blindsided stats. Michael mentioned the 50% reported divorce rate, as he mentioned, much higher. 81% lie on their dating profile. Okay. So right out of the gate, you're dealing with an illusion right out of the gate, and that's the biggest thing really with celebrity relationships.
Yeah.
They're dealing with the illusion because if that person is not of equal status on all those levels,
Yep.
you really don't know because they're always, after something. If it's not money, it's access, it's prestige. There's an ulterior motive. Maybe the love is real, but there's always another motive.
Yep.
So, that's where the relationships are really uncertain. So it's a little bigger than that. But with the tools of dreams, signs, and intuition, which is part of your internal GPS, you're born with this stuff. But A, people don't know it, and B, they don't know how to use it. And it's a fine art. You cannot learn this overnight. And all the people that claim to be the experts, all we see are the errors. They don't dream to code worth a hoot. Intuition, they're missing key components. Signs, no. We have cultivated this over 30 years. I would not let anybody teach you this stuff besides us.
Right.
I wouldn't trust this to anybody because no one knows how this fine art works. You dream all night long, whether you remember it or not. Then the signs are while you're awake.
And, why not use the system? Because it's a major part of your life. You dream at least a third of your life. Why? It's giving you the truth, the messages, what's coming in, signs. It's like, oh my God, the whole thing is there. People have been taught, don't pay attention to it. Like Nic said, just your imagination. And that's the problem. It's already there. Pay attention to it. It's part of our life.
It's free. It's going on 24/7. So, and then your intuition can confirm, was that dream? Is this the message?
And you'll know right away because you'll stop getting blindsided and the clarity that comes in with the system. And it happened instantly.
The initial piece to all of this is your vibration, your vibe, your quantum signature, which is the, how your vibe is. The rate and frequency at which you vibe. And everyone's picked up on vibes. They got a good vibe. They got a bad vibe. So y'all know what we're talking about here. If your vibration is out of alignment, all of your data from your inner GPS will be erroneous, okay? So you need to be vibing right. Her friends aren't worried about the tools she's using. They're worried she's going to get hurt. They're worried she'll get blindsided. They're worried she's going to ignore, the danger signs. They're worried history's going to repeat itself, right? They're worried about his ulterior motives. If your closest friends are still worried, why isn't your system that you're currently using answering that question? Or better yet, why isn't it settling all their insecurities and their fears? And they're the ones participating with these tools. And they're not foolproof for them.
Right.
They still have doubts, even though the answers they're receiving say it's all good. Mm-hmm. So what does that say? That says even with those tools, there's still doubt. And there always is.
There's doubt and they don't really know. Because when you're using outward tools, looking outwards, with tools like a stick and a tarot and astrology, and you're asking other people, tell me about myself. You've been with yourself how many years? Now think about that for a second.
If someone comes to us asking, is he the one? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I trust him? This, that, and the other. We lay down a very specific process to get your internal guidance system rolling. And dream signs, intuition, collectively, there's your data. We even met in a dream.
I had a dream that was very vivid. And it was a girl named Nicole, and she had brown eyes and a purple dress. She actually had a purple dress on. It was the purple dress from the dream. And, the point is that this is how it works. We're going to be shown in a dream our direction.
We're going to give you examples of how dream signs and intuition work. I met Michael. He was my instructor. The minute I saw him, I knew he was the one. I ran home and told my roommate. Keep in mind, Michael is 26 years older than me, and I was 24 at the time. I waited till the semester ended, and then he appeared, and then I asked him out, and we were engaged in 90 days and married in 9 months. There's the little story, okay? But along the way, we thought, what the hell are we doing? There's 26-year difference. We don't even know each other. So we use the tools. This is how the whole system came about. Michael had to use signs. Our first date, my license plate, KRW, right. The initials of his first wife. So we use dream signs and intuition right. to know we should be together. It wasn't just hope or faith. It was a right. dream and a sign and a gut feeling. Client, he's wondering, is this going to be a long relationship with her? He has a dream. They're in a truck, a semi-truck, driving down the street together. And the side of the truck says long haul trucking.
There you go. There's the sign.
He's like, what is this? What is this? I said, there's your answer. It means you're both in it for the long haul. He was really wondering, is this going to happen? Yep. Is this for is long term? And then there's the dream. And it's on autopilot. So Jen is already getting answers. Already. Dream signs and intuition showing her foolproof knowingness and certainty. A sign. Michael's my license plate, KRW, boom.
Yep.
Showing him it's going to be a serious relationship.
It's there for our knowingness. And it's a unified field. And it's quantum physics. They've proven it 70 years ago. Everything is connected. We are connected with everything in the universe. We have access because of that.
My other client, she's thinking of dating this guy she just met online. And immediately, as she says, yeah, we'll meet at the restaurant, she has gut wrench. Gut wrench. That was her intuition letting her know, don't bother. No. Okay. It wasn't anxiety. That was gut wrench. Okay. There's a difference. Mm-hmm. Another client, she was thinking of going on a date with a new person. And the next thing he says, hey, let's go to this restaurant. It's a restaurant she hates. She hates this restaurant more than any other restaurant. I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant. It's a chain, and I don't want to ruin the restaurant's reputation. But right there, that was her sign. Their vibes are so different. She hates this place. He loves this place. It tells you two things. Their SOC states of consciousness are different. So it's an automatic no. And it's her sign, no. This guy's not the right one. And I said, go ahead and experiment because she was bored. She wanted to go out. So she did. And it ended gently in 3 days because she already knew he wasn't the one. So it was no big deal. This is how the dreams and the signs and your intuition work. Jen may have found the love of her life or maybe not. Her and her people still don't know. But here's what we know. If your guidance system still leaves you wondering, still searching, still asking your friends, checking the cards, checking your horoscope, you do not have certainty. And certainty, not hope, is what keeps people from getting blindsided. Yep. Maybe she did find the love of her life, and maybe she didn't. Time will tell, but that's not really the point. I think the point is this, really. How many people are still trying to guess in general? They're doing the cards, the tarot, reading horoscopes, checking with psychics, using divination methods. Asking friends, watching YouTube, hoping, to get more information. And hope is not certainty.
Nope.
If you're still searching outside yourself, you haven't activated what's already inside of you.
Yep.
24/7 and free. Because this is the greatest guidance system you'll ever have. It's not in the deck of cards and it's not written in the stars. It's already within you. And when that system is online, life changes. Decisions become clear. Relationships become clear. You stop second guessing. You stop getting blindsided. You go into full proof knowing. If you're ready to stop guessing and start knowing, join us inside Divine Guidance Institute. That's where we teach the ancient way of knowing, how to develop inner certainty instead of chasing answers everywhere else. Visit divineguidance.org. And if you're thinking, hey, I'm not ready for that yet, start with the first step, the 40-day state shift. Before you can trust your guidance, you've got to get your mind and your nervous system. You need coherence, all right? Brain and heart coherence into the right state. The 40-day state shift gets you there.
Yep.
You'll learn how to quiet the noise and recalibrate your internal state, make clear decisions from a place of stability. No stress. Check out 40daystateshift.com. Stop guessing. Stop hoping, stop waiting to get blindsided, and start knowing.
And you'll know it reharmonizes your signal, reharmonizes your vibration. So you're in the flow and you have immediate access to everything, literally, that you want to know. Trust your gut, save your ass.